So, it's interesting when you think about growth. When we raise expectations, we're always traveling in uncharted territories. It's the unknown, right? That's growth. You don't know what you're capable of doing. So with that sort of mindset, you're like, okay, I'm in uncharted territories. What keeps me grounded and stable? And that's gotta fall to training. So as we expand as people, right? Like for any business that you're in, or it's hedge fund guys or athletes, whatever it may be, growth is always in uncharted territories. But what you're able to fall back on is always training. What does that actually mean? As you get better and better, the window of failure possibly gets bigger. Meaning that as you start to elevate your game, people think where you started from and where you are, there's a big gap. What really fills that gap is training, is being consistent with routine. Well, think about it. When you start, if you fail, you fall back to here. But as you get better and better about thinking about your mental game, how am I responding to things? Where do I feel there's so much pressure? And if you pay attention to that, you start to build these foundations. And what happens is failures that start from the top, it's a smaller dip because you've built these foundations in a house. So being a small business owner, right, and you're onto something and you're starting to build your business, whether you're making $1 million, $2 million, now you go to 3 and 4. But what got you here, obviously is gonna get you here, but now you have to expand. You take on more risk, more expenses. It changes your mental game. The fear of catastrophe comes in. So how do I keep you at a level that is grounded? You know how to take a breath? That's expansion. For you, as you grow your business, you're making more decisions now. The numbers are bigger, but your mentality, your mental model has to be very strong, right? Because it's fearful, right? You're building something big. What happens if it falls apart? Catastrophe thinking is always right around the corner. So how do I keep you in a place where we're able to slow down, make best decisions at every level? And what happens to people is that they think they've got it. They take for granted what got them there, which is the basics. So you always have to take advantage of the basics, but never take them for granted. Those are your core tenets, and that's what you build upon. So whether you're managing money, playing professional sports, or an entrepreneur, you always have to remember what are your core tenets. Mental space, slowing down to make best decisions, sleep. Exercise is very important, right? Why is exercise important? It's acute stress. As an entrepreneur, as a hedge fund guy, as an athlete, you're taking on a lot of chronic stress. What are some things to alleviate that? Exercise is one of them. Self-awareness is one of them, right? Downregulating is so important. But what happens is as we get excited, we often forget about the basics of mental foundational training. So important because we think we got it. And I'm here to say you never got it. How do you have it if we keep testing uncharted waters? Emotions come up. We have to be aware of that. We are in the camp of best decision making. It's constant. And I personally believe the fact that we're not there yet is the journey. The only place you're there yet is 6 feet under. Then it's over. But to really give yourself that space as a business owner, whatever it may be, how rewarding is that? So this is not about perfectionism. It's about curiosity and the ability to put yourself in uncharted territories to see what you're capable of doing. But the best part about that is that you've trained for it, that you have something to lean against based on evidence, consistency, which builds confidence. And we get to do that again and again and again. So when people always ask me, what's my limit? I have no idea. You're in uncharted territory. Why put a limit on it? As long as your training is getting there where it needs to be, consistently. As expectations go higher, training has to follow. As long as we keep that gap small, what are you capable of doing? Anything.